Hello, superheroes. We are continuing to identify the main idea of a passage. This will help you to understand the things you read much better. I'm going to read this passage from IXL. Try your very best to follow along as I read. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was the first woman to be elected as the leader of an African country. As president of Liberia, she made huge improvements in people's lives. Before Johnson Sirleaf became president in 2005, Liberia was in debt and most people didn't have jobs. The country had also been divided by a long war. After Johnson Sirleaf entered office, she asked other countries for help with the debt. She made it possible for more girls to go to school. She also worked for peace in Liberia. Because of the important work she did in Liberia, she won a Nobel Peace Prize in 2000. Okay, I read through the passage, and now the question asks, and don't forget to push on that blue button for help reading, what is the main idea of the passage? My options are Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's work made the lives of many people in Liberia better. And my second option is Ellen Johnson Sirleaf worked to give girls the opportunity to go to school. Well, let's start with the second one here. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf worked to give girls the opportunity to go to school. It does talk about that in the passage. She made it possible for more girls to go to school. But that's just one sentence. There's a lot more in that passage. The other option reads, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's work made the lives of many people in Liberia better. So let's look at other parts of the passage and see if they are examples of how she made the lives of many people in Liberia better. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was the first woman to be elected as the leader of an African country. That's a wonderful thing that she was the first woman to be elected. Did that necessarily make people's lives better? Let's not mark it for now. As president of Liberia, she made huge improvements in people's lives. Oh, well, that definitely goes along with she made the lives of many people in Liberia better. Before Johnson Sirleaf became president in 2005, Liberia was in debt and most people didn't have jobs. That means that Liberia didn't have much money. They owed money to other nations. The country had also been divided by a long war. After Johnson Sirleaf entered office, she asked other countries for help with the debt. So helping the debt would make the lives or improve the lives of many people in Liberia. We already highlighted she made it possible for more girls to go to school. She also worked for peace in Liberia. Well, peace definitely makes people's lives better. Because of the important work she did in Liberia, she won a Nobel Peace Prize in 2011. So, I've got green highlights for the first option and yellow highlights for the second option. Which would you say is the bigger idea in this passage? To me, it's very clear that it's the green, and that is what you would select, the first option. Let's take a look at another one. This passage is titled Antarctica, Not What You Think. I'm going to read. You try your best to follow along. When people think of Antarctica, they think of snow and ice. When they think of deserts, they think of sun, heat, and sand. Yet, in spite of its cold temperatures, Antarctica is actually a desert. In fact, it is the largest desert on the planet. A desert is a very dry environment that receives less than 10 inches of precipitation yearly. Precipitation is another word for rain or snow. On average, Antarctica gets less than 2 inches. Most of that precipitation is in the form of snow, but rain or ice can sometimes fall as well. Okay, so I now have two options. The first one reads, most precipitation in Africa is in the form of snow, though it can also get rain or ice. Well, it does talk about that at the very end. Most of that precipitation is in the form of snow, but rain or ice can sometimes fall as well. Let's look at option number 2 now. Even though Antarctica is cold and has snow, it is a desert. Well, it does talk about that. In fact, I am going to find all the times that it uses the word desert. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's another one. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 examples just of the word desert, which means that this, actually not that one, but this second sentence is talking about a desert. It means the third sentence is talking about a desert. It means the fourth sentence and the fifth sentence are all talking about desert. Which is the correct answer here? What is the big idea in this passage? Once again, it is clear that way more of the passage is talking about Antarctica being a desert than it is talking about snow. So the correct answer is right there. You guys can practice this skill at IXL, Language Arts, 4th grade, skill A2. Make sure you're going to Language Arts, because if you do 4th grade math A2, it's not going to be anything that we've talked about here. So IXL, Language Arts, 4th grade, A2. I am going to be following up on IXL to see how many questions you answered, how many you got right, and how much time you spent practicing this. As always, I'm proud of you as long as you do your best. We'll talk again soon.